In this video, I am going to be making a tier list for all of the different operators in Delta Force Hawk Ops, and this is going to be a tier list specifically for the Tactical Turmoil game mode, which is like the extraction shooter game mode, not the Havoc Warfare game mode, which is like the Battlefield game mode. So it's going to be just for like the extraction game mode that this tier list is for, if that makes sense. So first up, we have D-Wolf. They have access to Motorized Acceleration, Triple Blaster, Tactical Smoke Grenade, and the Tactical Slide. So I'm going to start off from the right going left, because I feel like that's going to be a little bit easier to do. And Tactical Slide is just not that good. It says rapid tactical slides, but if you actually go ahead and look at the preview, it really is not that rapid at all. It's like slightly faster than what it is usually, and sliding in general in this game just doesn't feel like it's going to be so great, so I really don't feel like it's going to be that good of a trait. And some classes have like pretty good traits, so I feel like this one's just a little bit underpowered for sure. So then we just have a smoke grenade. You throw it and it like launches on impact, and then you have smoke there. So this is nice. There are lots of classes that have smoke. This is one of them, but smokes are definitely good. Smokes are definitely very, very good for, you know, pushing into an area or just trying to get away from a fight or just rezzing someone. They're very, very good for lots of different situations. Obviously, they're kind of a double-edged blade, right? Because the opponent can also use it against you, but smokes are always good, so having this ability is definitely a plus. So then we have the Triple Blaster, and this is basically just you firing like a triple burst grenade pistol type of a thing. This is okay. The thing is, you have to aim it pretty well, and it's kind of, you can't ricochet it off of anything like you could with a frag grenade. So I feel like this is okay. I feel like it's decent, and I feel like you could probably get some use out of it, but I feel like it would also be better out in open areas where it'd also be harder to aim than indoors, because indoors someone's going to be like around a corner or something, so it's going to be better to like ricochet a frag grenade off the wall and try and bounce it to the enemy's location. But with this, it's just going to blow up on impact, so you can't really do that, but it is still going to be like a decent ability. And now you have your ulti, which is Motorized Exoskeleton, which is pretty good. This just makes you move faster, really, and when you knock down an enemy, you restore HP, and you extend the duration of the ulti. So this is pretty nice, actually. This is a pretty good ultimate. It's definitely like the main thing on this class, I would say, and it does also last a pretty good amount of time. Most ultis are only, you know, a few seconds long. This thing lasts 30 seconds, and then it extends the duration, obviously, if you get kills. So this can definitely let you make some plays. But unfortunately, I feel like the rest of the class is just a little bit weak. So even though I think this ulti is going to be doing a lot of heavy lifting, I don't think it's going to be enough to make it like a super duper mega good class or anything like that. So for that reason, I believe I'm going to be putting D-Wolf, I think is the name of the class, into, I was going to say A, but honestly, I think I might just put them in B, because I think there are just some better picks than this one. I'm not going to try and pronounce this operator's name. It's like Vyron, probably Vyron, I would say. Anyway, so from going backwards again, let me escape from that. So going backwards, we have your trait Dynamic Auxiliary System. So you briefly increase system power when using a gadget or falling from a height, reducing fall damage and boosting movement speed. So if you like jump off a cliff, you're not going to take so much damage from that, and then you're going to get a movement speed buff. Or if you use a gadget, you're not going to take full damage, and you're going to get a movement speed buff. So the movement speed buff after using a gadget or like an ability is pretty good. I think I would say that's pretty good. But the fall damage one, I feel like just isn't going to get a whole lot of use out of it. You know, once in a blue moon, you might make a play with that, but apart from that, I don't really feel like it's going to be that useful, because you still do take damage. And that's never very good. It would be better if it was like eliminated completely, but that would probably be, you know, overpowered or something. But the movement speed buff definitely could come in handy. So then we have the Magnetic Bomb, and this is basically just a Semtex, but I don't think you can throw it as far. And then I think it's got like a slightly longer cooldown than a Semtex as well. But it's basically this game's version of a Semtex, which is good. The problem with this is that you can't stick it to players. You can only stick it to hard surfaces. So that obviously isn't fantastic, but this could definitely still be useful. You could probably still stick it to vehicles and stuff like that if someone's in one of those and near one of those anyway. So yeah, I don't think this is great. I think the timer on it is going to be pretty hard to hit someone with it, because if you throw it, you can't like cook it or anything like that as far as I'm aware, so you have to throw it first before the timer activates. So a frag grenade you can just cook and throw it whenever. With this, that's not possible, so it gives the enemies a chance to just run away from it. But it definitely could be useful as well, and I'd imagine it does a lot of damage too. So then we just have like a little dash, like a little evasive kind of jetpack dash that you can do, where you just like push forwards in whichever way you're facing. And knocking down an enemy does also reduce its cooldown. So this could definitely be useful just for like darting quickly in between a certain piece of cover. This could definitely be good. But it does feel a little bit weak compared to some of the other operators' kind of abilities and stuff like that. Then we have the ulti, Crouching Tiger. You fire a compressed air round that knocks down nearby enemies on impact. So the problem with this is that it's not like a thing that you shoot and then it shoots straight. It's like a grenade launcher, and even once it's landed, there's a couple seconds that's gonna, you know, just make the enemies run away. But if someone gets caught up in this, they're just gonna die. However, I don't feel like it's gonna be super difficult to just run away from the explosion. Like, generally when there's a grenade near you, you see it, and then you just run away from the grenade, and then everything's fine, and now you probably still have your ulti, and this person doesn't have your ulti. But if you hit the shot, this is going to be powerful. But I mean, the rest of the class I feel like is just a little bit weak. I feel like this is okay. I don't think it's gonna be fantastic. The magnetic bomb I feel is just slightly worse than the frag grenade. And then the auxiliary system I just feel like isn't a very good trait. So the ulti for this class is really just kind of carrying it, and I don't really feel like it's enough to make this a super good class. It definitely still doesn't, you know, suck or anything like that, so I am going to be putting it in B, but I think both of these classes, their ultis do a lot of the heavy lifting, so I'm probably just going to leave that person in B as well. So then we have Stinger. Now, Stinger is actually pretty good. So you've got a Hive Tech pistol, which is just like a healing pistol. It heals your teammates and it heals yourself as well. You've got a smoke screen, but you can control where it goes, so I'll just show that quickly. It's this one, so... No, it's not that one. It's this one, so you can control where the drones go if you move, so you can kind of like angle the smoke grenade, which is pretty cool. You've got a regular smoke grenade as well, which just, you know, blows up when you throw it. And then when you revive someone, this is your trait. When you revive someone, you do it very, 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 very quickly, which is pretty nice. And also, this reduces the debuff of reduced max HP in Tactical Turmoil. So in Tactical Turmoil, if you get like fully downed and then you are revived, your HP goes from 100 to 80. And if you heal someone with this guy, that is not going to be a thing. You're just going to have a maximum of 100 HP like you usually would again. So that's just like a pretty solid trait as well, because you are going to be reviving people a lot in Tactical Turmoil. So the trait is good. The smoke grenades are always going to be good. But the thing with this class, the thing I don't like about it is that you have 2 smoke grenades. Would have been much better if you had, you know, like a smoke and then something offensive. But you just have 2 smoke grenades. However... one of the things with the smoke is that with this, if someone is inside of the smoke, it will provide increased healing. So like you smoke and then you shoot the smoke and then anyone inside the smoke will be healed. So this is like a kind of a synergy thing. You're supposed to like use one after the other to heal someone inside the smoke. This is pretty good. So you can give your teammates cover while healing them at the same time, which is pretty useful. But then this is just like kind of completely useless because you already have a smoke grenade. You can already synergize with that with your Hive Tech pistol. But this, I feel like just isn't going to be that good. I feel like it would have been better if we had like 2, I mean, 1 smoke and then 1 like offensive thing, but we just have 2 smoke grenades. So I think this class is very good. I'm probably going to be putting it into A tier. But one kind of thing that I personally just don't super love about it is that you have 2 smoke grenades, which I just feels like a little bit of a waste, I would say. However, I am going to be putting Stinger into A. I mean, it's always just going to be a good pick. I don't think it's anything broken, but I feel like it's always going to be a good pick that your teammates will be appreciative of. So then we have Shephard. Gonna start off with the trade again. So, Sonic Defense, use the hand device to generate anti-phase sound waves to reduce damage from blast waves. So, someone throws a grenade, you're gonna take less damage from the grenade. This is a decent passive. It's nothing awful. And this is a decent passive. I'll just leave it at that. And then you've got the frag grenades. The frag grenades are good. You get 2 of them and you can cook them and they do decent damage. This is pretty nice. Any class of the frag grenade is I'm just going to prefer because I feel like frag grenades are very, very, very good right now. So I'm definitely a big fan of this. And then Sonic Trap. Deploys a Sonic Trap that sticks to hard surfaces, damaging and slowing enemies within its range when triggered. So you have to throw this and then you also have to kind of trigger it. And I think it would have been better if it just like activates when enemies are near kind of automatically, but you have to trigger it yourself. So that's the kind of downside of this. I feel like it's going to be not so useful because, you know, if you're putting down a trap to where the enemies might come, then you might as well just like throw a grenade or something instead to get a little bit of damage done, instead of just letting them know that you know that they're there, if that makes sense. So I feel like this is okay. I'm sure you can make it worthwhile, but I feel like it's going to take a little bit of effort to do so. And I feel like it would have been better if it just activates on proximity. I feel like that would make more sense. And then it would also be harder to get out of it. But if you walk into it, it's much easier to get out of it. So yeah. And then we have Sonic Paralysis. This is the ulti. Deploys the Sonic drone ahead to suppress enemies and reduce their fire rate through acoustic pressure. The drone will destroy enemy Sonic devices that resonate with it and interfere with recon devices. Press and hold the gadget button to deploy the drone on the spot sentry mode. This is good. This is a good ulti. Recon classes are definitely meta right now. So this is going to interfere with those. And also, it's just really annoying to play against. It kind of makes your screen go fuzzy, and then I think you just get a reduced fire rate as well, which is a pretty big debuff. So this is very nice. If you're pushing into a room and it's like a 3v3, this could definitely give you the upper hand in a fight. So frag grenade is good, the ulti is good. The Sonic Defense is like a decent trait. You obviously can't really use it at all. It's just like always there. It's like a fully passive trait, but it's a good one to have. The Sonic Trap, I'm not a huge fan of, but given that the rest of the class is like just pretty decent, I think I'm just going to put this in A. So there it goes. So then we have Uluru. Probably not pronouncing that right, but anyway. Trait, Battle Harden has better resistance to slowing effects from fractures and class gear. This is a very decent trait. It's nothing crazy, it's not fantastic, but it's like, it's there and it's okay, and you won't really notice it, but it will be there and it will be like a nice small little bonus thing to have. Composite Incendiary tosses an incendiary grenade that detonates upon landing, quickly burning through quickest cover, and then quickest cover is where you toss a quick setting concrete sprayer that creates a cover to block damage. So this is basically just like a barricade in the form of a grenade, so it's like a grenade barricade, a granacade, you might say. So you throw it, it goes down, and then you can synergize that with the incendiary. So you throw it, maybe close someone off in a room, and then you try and burn the people inside of the room if you pair those together. Or if someone comes up to the barricade, you can use it to burn the person on the other side of the barricade. So there's some synergy there, and I'm sure you can probably just use the incendiary grenade on its own to just do a little bit of damage to anyone inside the area. So it can synergize with the barricade, but it probably doesn't have to. Probably just does decent damage on its own as well. And then your ulti is Loitering Munition. Fires an image guided loitering munition after aiming. It splits into 4 bombs on impact. When hip fired, the loitering munition will engage preset guidance, so I think that means it will just go straight. This is pretty good. This is very good for recon. But also, if you know where the enemy is already, you can just get a good bit of damage off of this, and then just like push and probably get a kill. So this is definitely a very good class. Quickest cover, I mean, I don't think this is going to be good for just placing in the middle of a fight, because you probably just want to run to cover instead. That's probably going to be faster. But if you want to like close off an entryway, if you want to close off an exit way, if you know where someone is, this can definitely be a good way of doing it. And having the incendiary to kind of pair with it can definitely be pretty good. Again, battle hardened, nothing fantastic, but it's like decent. So all in all, I would say that this is like a very decent pick. And it's just like a decent, solid, nice class, I would say. There's not a whole lot to it, but it's just decent class. So I'm actually going to put this into A as well. I don't think it's anything crazy, but I do feel like it's just solid pick. Now, you start getting to the fun stuff. We have Luna. Oh, God. Okay. Trait, enemy analysis. When you shoot an enemy, that enemy is marked for a short duration. That's very useful. That is a very useful thing. Sometimes you'll be shooting someone through a bush and you don't really know what you're shooting at, but if you hit them once and they're marked, then you can just keep shooting them with like a full auto weapon, and then you can get that kill. This is a very good trait. I feel like sometimes it doesn't activate, so maybe it's a little bit buggy, or maybe it's just for me, I'm not too sure, but when it does work, it's very good. Then we have the frag grenade, just again, very good. You have 2 of them, they do good damage, and you can cook them as well, which is fantastic. And then you also have like a secondary offensive thing, which is Volt Arrow. So this is an arrow that you shoot, it sticks to a surface, and then it just deals damage over time. This is very good for killing the machine gun AI or the riot shield AI, because it just sticks to the riot shield and then constantly damages them, sticks to the AI machine gun person's armor, and then it just constantly damages them. So it's very good for dealing with AI that's pretty annoying to deal with. And also it's just good for a fight. If you know someone's around a certain corner, you can shoot this, get them to back away from that corner, or they'll just be eating damage. And you do have 2 of these as well, so you have 2 Volt Arrows and 2 frag grenades. So that's very powerful. You've got tons of offensive capabilities there, which is awesome. And then your ulti is also insane. So your ulti is where you fire an arrow, And anything above where the arrow is going to be marked. It says above, but like it says it explodes its enemies below, but here it's not really showing that. But in general, it's good to fire it like as up as possible, because it's going to mark people close to it, and then it's also going to mark people that are far away, because the arrow is going to keep going. So you'll get a ping on someone that's like 200 meters away sometimes. But here it's not being fired so much upwards. I don't know why. It can also ricochet off roofs, so you could actually fire it like here, and it would ricochet off that and probably go like this way, and then you'd mark people more to the right as well, which is a very nice thing that you can do with this as well. But yeah, it does exactly what it shows. You shoot it, and then it pings the enemies through walls. It's literally just wall hack. So you've got very, very good offensive capabilities with the Volt Arrow and with the Frag Grenade. Then you also have a very good trait, which allows you to kind of just like keep shooting enemies, which is super handy. And then also you have an insane ulti. Like, this is just an insane ulti. The cooldown isn't so long on it either. You can be used inside, but it's going to be best for outside encounters. So this is just very good. If you've got like a good headset and you've got good audio and you know where the enemies, their rough locations, you could use this to just like pinpoint their absolute locations. And your teammates can see your arrow on the mini-map as well, and they can also see your pings through the walls. So like, this is just very, 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 very good. So Luna is just simply going to go into S tier. It's just probably the best class right now. The arrow is really, 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 really good. It's basically just wall hacks, and everything else in the class as well is also just very good for offensive capabilities and just taking people out. They have a little bit of everything. They can hold positions very briefly with the Volt Arrow. They can push into positions with the Volt Arrow and the Frag Grenade. They can tell where people are with the Recon Arrow. It's just very good, and they're good offensively for, you know, shooting someone, marking them briefly, and then, you know, keep shooting or taking a second to reload or something. It's a very, very good class. And lastly, we have Hackclaw. So this is the other Recon class. Trait: Silent Step. Walking and crouching are faster and make less noise. I absolutely love this. This is still a tactical shooter, so even though there's like operators and all of that kind of stuff, it does still reward you to play slow, and I like playing slow in tactical shooters, so I really, really, really like this trait. Then we have the Data Knife. So this is just like a throwing knife that you throw. It does hack into nearby enemy electronic devices, and it does disable them if you hit them with it, obviously. And also, if you throw it at someone, it deals very, very significant damage. I'm not too sure if it's always an insta-kill, probably depends on their gear, but it says it will deal significant damage. Someone leave a comment if you know if it actually is an insta-kill or not. But this is very good. You have 2 of them, so if you can hit your shots with these, you're probably going to be doing a lot of damage. And also, if you see any enemy devices around, you can probably just destroy those as well. So, decent. I haven't used this one so much myself, admittedly, but I'm sure it's going to be good if you like get the hang of it. You get how long it takes to travel, and you know how to do all of that. If you can like think to throw this instead of shooting your weapon, I'm sure this can probably be worthwhile. Then we have the Flash Drone. You deploy a drone straight forward, producing a blinding flash of light against enemies within range. When you aim at the decoder's trajectory, the drone will fly along the selected yellow trajectory. So, to make this make sense, this is basically a frag grenade that will fly straight unless you aim it. And then I'll talk about how you aim it in a second. So here's the ulti signal decoder. It periodically scans up to 6 enemy locations within with a decoder rather, and display the tracking parts of these signals on the contact lens. The paths closest to you will be displayed in red. The higher the warning level the enemy receives, the closer you are to a Hackclaw. So, what this means is when you use this is the ulti, right? When you use this, you see this little yellow line, and that yellow line is the fastest path that the game to find to the enemy operator. So here it shows how many people are next to you. So there's one person next to this person. But if there are more, it would obviously show more. This doesn't show AI. So if you're hearing footsteps and you don't know if it's AI or a real person and you want to know, you can just pop this and this will tell you if it's enemies or AI. Because if it's AI, it will just say 0. But if it's enemies, then it will say like 1 or 2 or this number on the right. So it only shows like real players, which is very, very nice. I like that a lot. And then also, this is like very useful in like indoor fights specifically. Like if you're in a really big building, that's also kind of like closed in a way, like a big building that's pretty narrow and stuff, and the recon arrow isn't going to be so fantastic, or there's like a lot of enemies around in the fight in different directions instead of just like one team in one direction. This is going to be good. So if you're like getting third partied a lot or something like that, this is going to be very, very, very good because it's going to allow you to pinpoint where both of the teams are. And also, I was going to tell you how to aim this thing. So what you do is, this yellow line here that appears when you use this thing, this shows you where the enemy is. What you can do is you can deploy this flashbang along that yellow line if you've just used your ulti. So you're supposed to use your ulti and then use the flash to like go along the yellow line, and it will just follow the yellow line. It will follow the line to where the enemy is, and if the enemy is within the range of the flash grenade thing, then it will just flash them, and then you can push in and probably just get a free kill. So there is some synergy with that as well. I just like this class because of the trait. I really like this trait a lot. I like moving faster, and I like making less noise, so both of those things are just fabulous for me. Data Knife is, I'm sure, very good if you get the hang of it. Flashstone is supposed to be paired with the Signal Decoder. You can't just use it on its own, though, and it is decent. I don't feel like it's like a, you know, I feel like it's a decently lengthed flash. If you push at the right time, which you probably will be because you're probably pairing it with the Signal Decoder anyway, I feel like it's going to be of a lot of use. And then the Signal Decoder, I feel like this is definitely a worse version of like the Recon Arrow, but I actually like this a lot. I just prefer this class in general, I think, specifically because of the Silent Step. But this is also a very good ulti. It doesn't give you wall hacks or anything of that nature, but I feel like it's still a very good pick. So I actually don't know if I want to put this into S. I feel like it's pretty good. I feel like it's a pretty good class. I'm gonna put Luna first because, I mean, she just has wall hacks, but I think Hackclaw I'm gonna put second in S. I feel like it's a very good class. I feel like both of the recon classes are very good. They have a lot of offensive capabilities on each of them, so I feel like that makes sense. I've got 3 in A, 2 in S, and then 2 in B. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with that. I feel like any of these 3 are going to be solid picks. I feel like these 2 going to be a little bit more difficult to make worthwhile. I know this one looks cool, but I think that's about all they have going for them. Maybe you'll get a kill with a Crouching Tiger every now and then, but I feel like that's about it. And then this guy I just don't think is fantastic for the most part. They're like a decent still. It's not like they suck, right? Otherwise they'd be in D or C. But I feel like they are decent. So right now, you know what? Maybe we'll actually... Alright, so this is what we've done. We have added a new class, and that is going to be S+, because Luna is not the same level as Hackclaw. I mean, she just has wall hack, so she's very good right now. But I do still think that Hackclaw is, like, very good, and I think she's still a little bit superior to the other classes, so I think I'm happy with that. You could argue that you would want to put Stinger in S because the heals are useful, but I mean, I don't think it's crazy useful. I think you can just heal yourself. You know, I think Stinger is good, but I don't think it's anything crazy. But I think having the recon abilities in this game is pretty useful. And I think you can like live without having Stinger because you're probably bringing in meds anyway. And if you play Stinger, it's probably more so to just like save money than it is to like because you like the class. So Stinger just kind of really replaces having lots of meds. But if you have lots of meds, I think it's better to give you the option to like have more choices in a fight. So that's why I'm leaving Stinger in A. I know they're very good, and I know a lot of people like Stinger because I see them being played a lot, but I think Hackclaw is just better, and I think Luna is obviously the meta right now, really. But yeah, there you go. There's my tier list. Again, this is obviously just for Tactical Turmoil, not for the other game mode. I think that makes sense. I think I'm just going to leave everything there. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. So yeah, there you go. Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. That is going to be it for this video. If you liked it, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Farewell.